The First Amendment to the United States Constitution might be the most frequently debated amendment in U.S. history. Although it's regularly used as shorthand to talk about freedom of speech, it also includes a number of other important clauses, without which the U.S. would be unrecognizable. So, what exactly is in the First Amendment? Well, most importantly, and perhaps the source of so much misunderstanding, is that the amendment begins with, "Congress shall make no law." Many people gloss over this part. They believe that the First Amendment personally guarantees them an inalienable right to speech, press, religion, and so on. But all it really covers is what Congress is not allowed to restrict through specific laws. Now, surprisingly, the First Amendment is only 45 words long. It opens with, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof." This is called the Establishment Clause. It means that Congress cannot favor a particular religion through legislature, nor can it legislate against the practice of a particular religion. This clause has been used to stop prayer in public schools, as well as to remove several displays of the Ten Commandments in front of courthouses. It is also the basis of what is referred to as the separation between church and state. Next is the freedom of speech. Often it's used to justify a person's supposed right to publicly state anything they want. However, this is very far from the truth. There are a lot of situations where speech is extremely limited, and it's completely legal. For example, being blocked for spamming on the internet is not a violation of free speech because private individuals can dictate whatever rules they'd like in regards to speech limitations. Freedom of the press is similar but better understood. It prohibits Congress from interfering with the publication of information, and it applies not only to professional journalists, but to regular citizens too. This is especially relevant now that anybody can blog or tweet to a wide audience. However, if the press is defamatory and damaging, there are still certain limitations. The scope of what is defamatory has long been debated. Then there is the right of the people to peaceably assemble. But again, this prevents Congress from passing a specific law prohibiting peaceful demonstrations. If a demonstration is in violation of another law, for example, if it endangers public safety, then there's nothing illegal about it being dispersed or people being arrested. Finally, the First Amendment allows for people to petition the government for a redress of grievances. This clause is almost totally unknown, but it allows citizens to do things like file lawsuits against the government or lobby public officials. It protects citizens from prosecution if they complain or try to address their problems through government channels. And that's it. The First Amendment isn't very long, but it covers a huge number of rights.
Good morning. I'm Sandra Day O'Connor. As the first woman justice of our Supreme Court, I had to know and understand our Constitution. As a justice, my job was to help interpret it and to understand what it said. And it's up to all of us to know about our Constitution, both in our minds and in our hearts. The United States Supreme Court can only make decisions about the Constitution when it considers cases brought to the court by people just like you. Only then is it the court's job to determine what the Constitution says. You need an actual case or controversy. And as an example, in 1969, the Supreme Court decided that schools cannot restrict students' First Amendment right to free speech in the classroom without showing that they have a good reason to do so. The only reason the court was able to make that decision in the first place was because 3 teenage students from Des Moines, Iowa, who were protesting the Vietnam War, used their knowledge of the Constitution to take a stand in their school and then to appeal their case all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States. You can look it up. The case is Tinker versus Des Moines Independent Community School District. That case is still used today to help to determine what the First Amendment's free speech right means in the classrooms across our country. When you arm yourself with knowledge of the Constitution, you're preparing yourself to stand up for your rights, for your dreams, and for the kind of country in America in which we want to live. Knowledge really is power. you.